How do I, so yes, and printing online. So I've brought up the physical copy online. So I write on I contribute to Wikipedia. I write what I'm approximately 95% of the time. The writing I put on Wikipedia, I write elsewhere and then put on Wikipedia. Or if I write it on Wikipedia, I save it elsewhere as well. So it's documented 2 places, Wikipedia and wherever I saved it. Or backed it up or whatever. And so Wikipedia, this is where I'd say this can become, it's useful to break it down. I write something, I edit something, I press publish on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia prints it. So what you as a reader, or I, after publishing it, read it as is different than what I wrote, edited, and submitted to Wikipedia. This has happened to me. It's really freaking weird. The example that comes to mind, I think it's happened more than once, but at least once. So I'll write stuff and I document the number of edits I'm doing. So I write it and I submit it and like that kind of stuff. And what'll happen is they will merge my edits. And so like if I'm trying to get like 80 edits on a page, sometimes 2 of my edits will get merged together. So what would have been 80 edits is actually like 70 edits. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm trying to get the point across of that. To some people is a typo or a typographical error introduced at the printing stage, because how Wikipedia works is all edits are time-stamped and there's an edit summary. So by merging edits, it's a typo in the sense of it doesn't have both edits, timestamp, and edit summary. Which gets me to some people are really freaking pissed off, get so pissed off with typos. Like, for some people, especially if they're trying to get a certain number of edits and edit count on Wikipedia, they might stop writing on Wikipedia because of the merging of edits, right? It's not the total number of edits that have been submitted to Wikipedia, it's the number that have been printed. And I was so fine with it. Like, my edits, what I contributed still appeared. It's like, so I had no problem with it. It just said it was 1 edit instead of the 2 edits I submitted it in, kind of thing. And so some people feel really strongly they hate typos. I am not that person. Earlier in life, before I matured, became more secure in myself, there tends to be, not always, but like I have noticed a rough correlation in the people who are very anal about typos. They tend to be a little insecure. Not all the time, okay? It's not a blanketing statement. I've just noticed that. And I did it because I noticed it. I think when I started, like in English class in college and stuff like that, we had peer review and a bunch of the students were international. And so they don't know English as well as I did. And when editing a paper that has a bunch of typos and stuff like that, and there's just big style thing, like, it is a wide awakener to typos aren't the end of the world. Like, it's not as big a deal to me as it is for some people. I have nothing against the people who have, like, some people are not insecure. They're just really, like, especially if I'm writing something and people are like, this is the proper English. This is how it should be spelled. Like, you made typos. Here's 26 typos you made. Like, some people get really frustrated with that. I don't. Like, that's appreciated. Sometimes the typos they point out actually aren't typos and they just misread it. So just like, I appreciate the feedback. Like, so I would say it's not really like, I also, yeah, I don't hate people who are really sticklers over typos. No. I'm not a big stickler on typos. I used to be more so. I'm not as much now. But I do get frustrated. So sometimes, like, for example, why did I call a typo a mistake instead of an accident? Because For example, what is the typo? I started off this by saying there was a typo I made that caused a whole lot more introspection than I thought. It was this, top 100. This is what it was supposed to be. What I did was top 11 on a keyboard. I had made this mistake so many times in writing and caught it in editing, and today I did not catch it in editing, so it got printed as a top 11 instead of top 100. And so I actually, first, I was like, typos! I feel it's worth noting this one because this one actually made it to print. So, and it's on Wikipedia and it's an edit summary, so I can't actually change it. And I'm like, perhaps this is a way of saying, as a writer, I've actually grown fond of certain typos, like this one, where it's like, yes, I did make a mistake. Was it intentional? It was a reflex. It was just my finger typing and me not catching it. That simple. I would not call it an accident because reflex, it's a physical thing. It exists for a reason. It is a reflex. Be it conditioning or training or just a natural response to something, it's not an accident. Reflex, by definition, is not an accident. Was it a mistake? Yes, I would say it was introduced at writing and not caught in editing. And so I was actually kind of reflecting on myself. I was introspecting and proud of myself for not beating myself up over this making print instead of this, because well, I made that mistake a whole lot more times than is documented. So in some ways I kind of feel like it's the universe being like, this is good karma for you. It's documented somewhere, this mistake you made, because like, hey, it's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I mean, that's why like there's a bunch of editors and books can still have, or articles online or manuscripts can still have a bunch of mistakes. Like even editors don't catch everything. They can introduce new problems. I've seen that too. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about typos.